Hello, 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 and how are you, and where are you, and how old are you, and how far are you? I was peeping through the window. I want to send you to peep through the window. We are back to our pre-25 conversations. The period of determination, the time of decision, 18 to 25. We are back here to discuss what should we be doing. I peeped through the window and I saw rolling hills and the trees, and I asked myself, where is my position in the skies? In fighting aircraft in military operations, they usually have tanks on the ground and aircraft in the air. Now those aircraft in the air, they fight, they combat in mid-air. All right, now the work of the pilot is to always remember their position in the skies. If you forget where you are, an opponent can get you. If you forget how far you are from the ground, you can crash. If you forget how high you ascended, you can run out of fuel. This life is about remembering where am I in relation to the mission, in relation to the enemy, in relation to danger. That is all about age. That's how you're supposed to be thinking. We want to ask you, how old are you and where are you? There's one problem you're trying to combat and trying to reverse. Young girls are being sent by their mothers, being told to come home with 2 degrees. The one they weren't going to study and a partner, a lover. The society is telling girls to have the life cycle of an insect. Egg, larva, pupa, adult, back to egg. Go to school, study, get a job, now get a family, get married, get children. Now take your children through the same cycle. To school, job, family. And that is how they're measuring success. In church, it's Mr. and Mrs. who carries a lot of respect. The couple that has been together 40 years, staying together 40 years is good. I'm not underrating it, but it's not the most important thing. No? Today we want to tell you that you should not just go to university. They should not be telling you to come out, talk and to come with someone. Don't waste that period. That's not the message. The message should be, make sure you unveil your potential. Make sure somehow you discover who you're supposed to be. Ensure you shine your light in your generation. Make sure the world feels you. That should be the most important message. The people who change the world don't change the world because they stayed. Some people brag about dating for 10 years. I brought a girl here who is, I will not tell you her age so I don't think I exaggerate. She will tell you herself, but she's in that bracket, 18 to 24. All right? Pre-25 as we call them. When you say pre-25, we mean people who are grown enough to be called legally adults, legally. I have an ID. I'm an independent person now. Now I'm an adult. I can make my decisions. I know what I want. Welcome Anna from KU, who told me she loves radio. She's in presentation. She sent us a video of her doing her work. Anna, how are you?
Yes. Hello, Benjamin Zulu. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
You look elegant.
Thank you.
Put together.
Thank you.
And when I saw you, I told you, I'm sure hyenas are after you.
Yeah.
And I warned you that we cannot be discussing hyenas and you could be hosting one.
Nah.
Anyway, introduce yourself.
Anyway, hello, good morning. I'm Annah Nyamisa. I'm a student at Kenyatta University and I'm 19 years old. At Kenyatta University, I pursue education English literature.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm from Kisii, basically.
Literature. Do you dance?
Those African dances, yeah. I have units that we take part in such practices, like we have to present some dance moves in class and such. Yeah.
I would like to participate.
Thank you. Well,
put on those
African attires, the sisos, and that's what we do actually.
Ones.
My last semester, I had a unit of the same.
Do you like what you're doing?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. You look lively.
Thank you.
I heard you talking happily, and I started asking myself, how many of your colleagues are crying in those rooms?
Quite many.
Because of boyfriends.
Yeah, I know.
Because of heartbreaks.
Yeah.
Because of pregnancy. Oh, Tony left me. Tony was taken by Maggie. They even accuse other girls of taking away.
My fellow comrade.
How come you're not among that group that is crying and stressing?
Okay, basically I can say I'm not among that group because I identified my purpose early.
Wow.
So I knew what I wanted. And so being in the campus, it wasn't all about the relationship stuffs and dating and such. Because, we've seen girls doing some messy things out of relationship in campus. You get pregnant, you're even ashamed to tell your parents back at home.
That's right.
But at the same time, you're staying with your boyfriend maybe and such kind.
That's right.
But telling your parents is a problem. So your parents comes to realize later on in life, you see. And yeah, I think I realized my purpose and what I really wanted in life. That's why
you're too pretty not to be visible to men. I'm just approach you on daily basis.
They say it's allowed. Thank you.
How do you respond? How do you handle this? Because many girls say, I simply succumb to pressure. They pursued you so much. I said, let me give them a chance. How do you handle that?
Okay, handling men, it all depends. When men know your value, they'll stop bothering you a lot. You see, if I let myself too much into a man's life, or maybe I'm this lady who kind of hangs out with any man, and like a lady, any man comes to me and I'm like, yes, I'm interested in you. See, when a man knows your value, at least he gets to respect whatever he does. When a man approaches you once and he knows that I'm gonna approach this lady, but she said no, and then it means that it won't come again. But when you seem to be showing an interest that you're interested into this man and such, so it's just a way to turn off them in a way.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Now, you said you identified your purpose early.
Yeah.
You're working in radio, but you're doing education.
Yeah, I'm
Is
working
that the
in
same
radio.
thing?
Maybe it's the same thing. Okay, having passion in media began when I was back in high school, because we had these, journalism clubs in high school where you could, maybe on assembly, we go air news and talk. That's when I realized my passion in media. And coming to do education English late was totally out of mind. I wanted to pursue law. I'm kind of interested also in things to do with it. You see? No, that's what
passion in media, law, education.
Okay, when it comes to like career-wise, whatever I wanted to be in class about is to study law. But in the field, I wanted to do something that I can do, something to do with media. Like I really didn't want to go to class to study journalism and such, because I've seen most of the guys out here, they're in media, but they didn't pursue the same course, right? Yeah.
You should not think she's confused. She's bringing something very important. Nowadays, we don't want over-specialization. A person who studied radio does radio only, radio through radio. All right? Nowadays, the people who move the world are those who have combined fields in creative ways. All right? So that you have a passion in radio, you have a passion in media. You said, I'll teach myself radio. I'll practice it. But I would like to bring another angle that comes from education, comes from law, comes from engineering, comes from computer science. That's not a confused person. That's a person who's rich, deep. The person who is confused is one who is in many fields and their heart is in neither of them. Have you noticed that there's not one degree that captures all of you?
Exactly.
All right? There's no degree that was designed with you in mind. They designed it for purposes of economy. All right? To sell, to churn out as many. Mass production, they call it mass production. So it's you to design a cocktail of what works for you. I had a passion in public speaking, but there's no course like that.
Public. No, there is no course for public speaking. I
had a passion in just inspiring. See motivational speakers in schools, but none of them had done Bachelor of Arts in motivational speaking.
It is intrinsic motivation.
And then they told me, where people talk like you is in law. Go do law. When you get those good courses, they dictate where you can go. So I took law, but in between, I still want to deal with life. Law fixes blame, apportions responsibility. Right? But I wanted to fix the problem. I wanted to help people with the root of the problem. All right? So I wanted to go to society, not to the court of law, but to where life is itself. So I said, law is a good basic starter. So any degree you are in is merely a starter. It is not tie you. So I'm very happy you are aware of the field, not just saying, no, because I'm in this. If you're too specialized, it also makes you irrelevant in many fields. There before, people would start in biology, they go to microbiology, they go to mosquitology, then you specialize in female southern Saharan mosquito.
Anopheles mosquito.
There's a professor who came here to teach us how to wash hands. We are told she is a professor of washing hands. And people couldn't get it.
Really?
Do you
Do you need to tell us this?
So there before it was about getting narrower and narrower. Today we are not into that. Today it's about when you are given education to open your mind, then go where you belong, where your instincts lead you. Go. So I strongly encourage that. So tell me, who do you want to teach after you're done in your school? How far are you, by the way? Which year are you?
I'm in my second year.
Guys, if you're looking for who is the next big name, people only celebrate people. Anybody can celebrate a celebrity.
Of course. Anybody can do that.
Because you're already famous. When you're already famous, everybody identifies you. It's a selfie.
Let me have a selfie with you.
This girl is the next big thing. Why?
You.
She said she identified her purpose. And I like that part. So tell me, you said you are firm with relationships and men.
Yeah.
You know what you want.
Yeah.
You want first to develop yourself.
Yeah.
And you said you want to practice radio later.
Yeah.
Currently, if people want to chat with you, there are girls who admire your clarity of mind.
Yeah, they do. Mostly in school, apart even from being in media, I'm kind of student leader.
Oh.
Yeah, so with these people, like, we help students to...
And I campaign for you?
Yeah, of course.
There's something coming. Vote this
Thank you. Yeah, so when girls tell you that they look up to you, and I end up asking myself, no, I'm 19 years old, and why are you looking up to me? I don't do much. I'm not like the likes of these other ladies, but sometimes I tell myself, it is good to be that, to create a good picture of myself.
That's right.
Yeah, and being a student leader, it needs a lot to do in school. That's why we have girls looking up to me, and I'm like, oh, really? Haven't done much that you should be looking up to me. We're yet to be in this together. Yeah.
You know, they're not just looking how far you have gone, they are looking at the clarity of your direction.
Yeah.
You need to differentiate that. A lot of people are confused. 60% of Kenyan youth are doing degrees they don't like.
You know, Zulu, when I was talking to my friends, and then they were like, Anna, I know campus ladies, you must be having a boyfriend in campus. You know, you're trying to convince someone that you don't have a boyfriend in campus. It's something hard for these people out here because they know that you have one in campus. And then when most of my girlfriends in school are like, Anna, by the way, who are you dating in school? And then they later to realize that there is no one. They're like, really? You're kidding. Maybe you're doing it behind the scene. But really, I've seen like campus relationship ain't taking people far.
Very good. There are two kinds of people you can date when you're in campus. Your colleague lost fellas who don't know where they're coming from, where they are, their coordinates.
Yeah.
One of these days, ask a guy, tell me their coordinates. What's your location?
Do they know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can't tell you, I'm here, I'm headed here, I'm coming from here.
Exactly.
They're drifting with the wind.
Yeah.
They're going with a bash, rave, emotional high. They can't even sit still and think. Do you know premarital sex is nonsensical when you sit down to think about it? The longer you kept yourself, the more nauseating it is to imagine a person touching you with their dirty hands and they don't intend to stay. And they don't belong to your life.
In a campus room hostel. Whereby I have to tell my roommates to get out of room so that I can have accommodation at this place.
How many people have you exposed yourself to?
You know,
the guy who has gone out knows what you're doing.
Yeah,
The guys remaining will not even be there in your future.
Yeah.
In future, you'll be so embarrassed to see this one, because when you're getting intimate with the person, you can never be neutral around them. Yeah. They know you. They have seen you.
Yeah,
so the thing I want you to confirm to my younger people, because I like it when it's said by one of them, that although people are telling you you must have someone, it's possible to be different.
Yeah, it's really possible to. Because, you know, I was telling myself, I'm not going to convince you that I have one or not.
Exactly.
Whatever I know is personally I don't. So I'm not going to satisfy whatever you need to know.
Do you know, you've heard me say the parental principle of 20-80. 20% of people are the ones who produce 80% of our economy. Sure. 80% of our day, 80% of what. I only want you to remain in the minority. Narrow is the way that goes to success. The way of destruction, and those people tell you must have is because they have. Yeah. Remember, people are describing their own life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a mirror.
They've experienced that.
It's a mirror. Yeah. They're coming from their own point of view. Today, if another girl tells you she has no boyfriend, will you argue with it? You are used to it because that's your life.
Exactly, you know.
That's your life.
Yeah.
The one who is on the 5th boyfriend
won't agree to that. Exactly. Yeah, that's why most girls will never agree with me that I don't have a boyfriend. Or maybe once you're seen with somebody, like maybe too often in school, they conclude that there is the guy that you're having in school, right?
And many of them they want to think that having a boyfriend is what proves you're beautiful. You're so pretty and I can't see a boyfriend. Tell them whether truly a boy brings any beauty to your life.
No, really.
Only confusion. I want you to ask your friend every time they ask you what's wrong with having a boyfriend. Ask them how much emotional drain
does it bring? Exactly. You see.
Just ask them, what is it costing you to maintain the connection?
Yeah. You see. I was looking at a first year, my friend. The first year she was crying about, oh, my boyfriend has left me. I'm like, really? You're
too young to cry over a man. I mean, even in common sense.
Why you cry? And then, you know, the problem with us girls, whenever Zulu, I approach this certain girl and tell her that this is not the right way. She'll think I'm envy, I'm jealous of her, whatever she's doing. Girls rarely accept advices from other fellow girls. It's true. That is only the issue that comes along.
One day they will accept after you have proven your path is the way.
Sure.
I comfort you. Right now, don't worry. Keep going. In 5-10 years, they will see you. Oh my God, you are that girl. Okay, I can see your way works. Advise me. How can I emulate you?
Sure. Thank you.
Let me finish by giving one tip. If you apply that, you'll be in charge of your direction in life.
Sure.
All right?
Yeah.
Seek to master radio. Don't just do radio. People say, I do radio, I do TV. Don't just do it. Master it. I can hear you already have a good voice. Go online, study other voice, other inflections, other skills.
Sure.
And the voice is about the emotion. It's about the feeling you can bring. It's how magnetic and how comforting it is.
Energetic you can
and I
be
think there before people were radio, TV exclusive.
Yeah.
Don't split them. Do both. Do both. Do radio and then on your YouTube, make it visual.
Exactly.
I want you to look for something you're passionate about. Even if it's not something very far away, just being firm with your path. Teach girls that.
Sure, thank you.
Teach them. Do a 5-minute thing telling them how you're burning with the fire for your path. And you tell them you're successful in your head before you're successful in life. You're failure in your head before you're failure in life. You're wealthy in your head before you're wealthy in life. You're poor in your head before you're poor. You're lonely in your head before you're lonely in life. Tell them that if I decided I'm happy, it will come to pass.
Sure.
And tell them the happiness starts by being able to be comfortable in your own company.
Yeah.
Just sit again, nobody stimulating you, nobody calling you sweet names.
See?
Read the Bible, hear what God told you, believe that, walk in it, go study your thing, believe in your gifts. Excel. Look at yourself in a mirror, confirm you're beautiful. When other people later on come to validate it, you have built it on your own.
Yeah.
All right? Single, waiting does not mean seated. I'm waiting for the right time.
Exactly, of course,
Waiters in hotel don't sit. They serve. Why do we call them waiters? Because waiting means serving, means being useful, making good use of time, building something until the right time to move to the next season.
Sure.
So tell them you're preparing for the right husband. Yeah. Your man is behaving like you wherever he is.
Wherever he is.
Building. If he is not, he cannot qualify.
Then, of course.
All right? Yeah. We are not talking a particular Johnny, a particular Davy. We're talking about a person who's building themselves like you. That time you'll evaluate the candidates and see who matches. Tell them you're preserving your right to choose.
Exactly.
All right? Yeah. Those who are somehow moving in, they lose their right to choose because now you're on the receiving end. The man already gotten your heart, gotten your emotions. Yeah. You have no choice. So tell them the more you keep yourself and obey your season, the more power is on your end.
Exactly.
So I was telling you, master it. If you master it, and have a following. Do those things. You see now when you don't have a guy to ask permissions, you can do anything.
Of course, I'm not entitled to seeing you on weekends. I'm not entitled to meeting you anytime I'm free. Like, hey, are you free? I know you don't have class. Right? Dating your classmates, he knows when you have class, when you don't have class, and such kind of things, He knows you don't have exams, so he's fixing myself into my schedule.
Exactly. Yeah. And then one of the things I want you to advance very fast is we have few classes like 3 in a day, and then very many free hours. Exactly. Except a few units like medicine.
My course. My course, education. Have you ever seen like education? My course is more of a literature and theory. It's more of reading. It's not practical.
Exactly.
Something that I can read for myself actually, even without the lecturer, because it's just I look at this and read through. There is a lot of free time. Yeah.
I wanted to comfort you that radios are looking for good presenters.
Thank you.
Stop being hearing joblessness. That is madness.
Sure.
There's no joblessness in Kenya. That is the truth. What we have is unemployable, useless, empty job seekers. They can't even keep time.
Yeah.
They can't even seize opportunities.
Exactly.
They have no energy. They have no specialization.
Sure.
They are lying somewhere. One of them must talk about us who campus leave us. We are not dating anyone, but we don't also have a job. We are applying every night, but we are not getting anything. Now we are just here, just eating. Please talk to. I don't talk to lame minds.
Yeah.
You don't need to be employed. If you have an active mind, you can't sit idle. I told her, grow rabbits, grow chicken, sell children's socks. Approach sellers of plots, shamba. Tell them which one are you selling. I want to market. After, if I manage to get a customer, how much will you give me?
Exactly.
You don't need to own anything to sell it.
Yeah.
Just ask seller, do you want to sell it? How much? I want 1.2. Okay, you go marketing 1.3, 1.4. Okay, and believe God. Put your faith there. Advertise this online. I have a real deal here. Go do things. Go check those guys who sell motorbikes. If I get your customer, we always pay 5,000 per unit. Okay, go on. I mean, you can't say, okay, I don't have a job. No, I'm going to wait. Who wants to employ such a sleepy person? So, I wanted to comfort you. Employers have more trouble in Kenya.
Yeah.
We don't have specialized, we don't have masters, we don't have passionate people.
Yeah.
And I want to invite you to consider that instead of worrying about who will employ me, worry about who is that lucky person who will get me to inject energy in this.
Exactly.
And sometimes if you feel like you're called to do your private stuff, do them parallel every time. Like Jalas, this guy in media.
Yeah,
he has
I know,
radio,
right?
but he has his own TV.
His YouTube shows are working, right? You
and
see?
you pick jobs on your own terms.
Yeah.
I'll only sign up if I'm also allowed to continue doing my job.
Not only signing up where I have to terminate whatever my
life.
Doing, yeah.
No,
yeah.
I want you to build that YouTube presence so that is always on in your terms.
Thank you.
All right, and keep that energy going. I want you to talk 2 minutes. Pass a message to your age mates. Those who feel like, we have not discussed your family, but I know all this energy. If you have supportive parents, you're lucky. But we don't always have them.
Of course,
And people are seated there, pity patting. Talk to your age group.
Okay. As much as we're talking about the family, maybe I could say something like,
yes.
I think if I was given that comfortable life, you see,
right.
If I was given like when I was in high school, my dad was working, so he could provide everything.
You're right.
He could come pick me from school, drop me in school, shopping in Lads, and then now my performance was like, I got this luxury life, and I didn't need much. It only hit me when he lost his job and those opportunities were going low. And when I see how he struggles like to get our needs, and I really have to think twice, I have to identify myself to at least find something right. I can ease the burden he has because, we're never the only kids in school,
Exactly.
No. So to my age mates in the age group, I'm 19 years old. So people are never worried at 19, you've identified yourself early. We have these people at 26 who still even have not identified themselves. But it's a matter of time and it's a matter of who you take to be, you see? Yeah.
And your path is different.
Yeah.
And maybe you're going farther than them.
Thank you. Yeah. It just needs to take know your priorities right, When somebody asks me, can I hang out with you? And I'm like, no. It's because my day is already scheduled.
Exactly.
You can't just book me today and I'm like, yes. You see? As in, we have to set our priorities right in whatever we're doing. If it's somebody asks you, can we go for club at night or can we read a book? You could prefer something that will build you up than something where you're going to lose. I get pocket money and then somebody invites me to a club. I go spend the money there. You see, the money ends. Then I'll stay in hostel, maybe buy something, read, and I grow up myself here. So it is about setting
You stay in the hostel,
priorities.
you use the money to build your head.
Yeah.
Another person uses the money to drink whiskey. In the morning, they have headache. They have to buy medicine to treat the headache.
See,
you enriched your head. They damaged their head. You made yourself learn. They made yourself headache. The same money, different choices. Let's remind your age group that this is the age of determination. You are orienting the direction of your life.
Sure.
Many of the decisions you are making now will affect 50 down your life. How you're investing your years now will distinguish you. Right now, you don't look very different because you are together, all of you. But a few years, mastery takes about 9 to 10 years. If you continue doing this, you come to be distinguished like Akina Julie. Those people you see up there.
The women we look up to. Sometimes you're seated. Actually, there is this thing to do with motivation. Like I have role models. You see, I'm seated and then I could say like, just why girl, maybe let's say the likes of Mary Mwikali.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, I want to be like that woman. You see, I want to be somewhere else, like people who you look up to.
And we must reverse backwards. When they were your age, what were they doing?
When they were age, what I was exactly.
They were simply focused and looking. This girl is. You look. They think your life is boring when you're not raving, partying.
Exactly, such
but
kind of.
Do you look bored?
No, I'm cool.
When you find you are so excited. I don't know what they call boredom. In fact, you can only get tired, sleep, wake up, go back to work. There's no such thing like boredom.
There is nothing.
You always have a pile of videos to watch, a pile of things to follow up. That hunger keeps you going, keeps you going. So, warning to classmates, even if you don't go anywhere, she's going.
Thank you.
And you will live to say, do you remember her from KU? You can join and follow suit. Tell her where to find you on social media.
Okay, on my social media, on Facebook, it's Annah Nyamisa. On Twitter, Annah Nyamisa. And Instagram, it's Annelita Nyamisa. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Zulu.
I'll see you up there.
We'll see each other up there. Thank you.